realization. How do we...
Who has come to that realization?
As a nation, we have. Because, like I said, if we, in the late 80s, we had this structural adjustment program to help the private sector, which of course we all say is the engine of growth. So we know about it. The only challenge is how to roll it out and how to sustain it. That's been our
I don't know what the problem is with this. Mahama came and did. You see, if we want to go back, we had our first president, and he picked the socialist approach. So state farms and all those things, and people were just employed, they were working for government. Now, if you look back at the way the socialist system of running economies has even failed, in quotes, in the socialist countries, and even China has moved away from the socialist principle of running economies, then you see that our first president and the choices they made didn't help us. Fine. But that is 1966, he's been off. And we have just been sitting and doing this, gone back to democratic rule and things like that, and we don't see the need. Every government comes, he sets up his own national planning something. Even the National Planning Commission, which is supposed to be permanent, merely is advisory. Why don't we have a plan so that the president comes in and there's a body that ensures, you know it, the directive principles of state policy. Why should Mahama start the
sugar factory?
The sugar factory. These people come, and this is why we also run into judgment debts, mistrust of one government to another. So we seem to be interested in portraying ourselves as what? A democratic country that is running.
But the youth that is being, encouraged is
what should they go and be entrepreneurs on?
Do we have this entrepreneurial drive? Do we have in us?
You see, these things have links. The country is set on a certain path of industrialization. Then the educational system is also linked with it, in order to equip the students to be able to go in there and pick up some of those things. In our country, we have the universities, we have the research institutions, and so on, who are supposed to be directing the way we are training our students to pick up some of these things. But where is the industrialization that they will really come and go and be the kind of entrepreneurship means what? Enter to take, entrepreneurial. So it needs some kind of bonus, but there must be something. And the government, when they say we are creating an enabling environment, where is the enablement that they are giving?
Is it where it is, or how are they going to bring it?
Where what is?
You're talking about that enabling environment.
Yes.
They say they're going to create the enabling environment.
How are they creating it?
And if you listen to the finance minister,
how are they creating it?
So the finance minister, for example, talks about that government would ensure that we have macro stability. He goes on to say that we would also ensure currency stability. He talks about financing, which of course, is a big issue to people who want to start, the startup capital. He talks about, even the skill set for people to go into it. And he concludes and says that's where the Obantampa, CARES program will come in. Are you saying that this, when put in place, will not make the environment enabling enough for the youth? For
example, I asked the question. The NPP government came and said they were doing one factory, one D1F. How encompassing was this kind of project, this development policy? When you go to the universities, as I've written about this in my book, to what extent was the engineering faculty involved in kind of developing the kind of what? If you took cassava starch, which I was talking about, we need the machines and things, not the huge ones, which they did at Bodjo as if it was imported from Norway or some other place. But a lot of artisans could really I've gone to Colombia and I've seen how their starch industry is almost like the cocoa. The farmers produce the starch. There's a body that goes to see the quality of the starch you have produced, whether it can be used for food or feeding animals or whatever it is. So there's a possibility of creating this kind of thing. The universities, the research institutes, they are all part of it. But you come and the whole thing becomes political. And then how can you really get a factory if it's agriculture based? a factory to really be formed and run in 4 years, and come and justify that this is what I've done.
So for you, if government says, well, I want to solicit your thoughts, or I want advice from you, for us to be able to begin